Hey everybody, it's Tina. So I want to start a new series on my channel called The Spiritual Sessions. And what this is going to be is once a week or so, I'll do a video either doing some sort of spell for you guys and showing you how to do one, or something else related to magic, or maybe talking about things related to spirituality. If you have any special requests for any type of video that you'd like to see, please do leave that in the comments down below. I will be honoring requests. I'm going to be looking for you guys for suggestions on what you want. But this is one more thing I'm trying to incorporate here. I get questions pretty much all day long, every single day. We get over 100 messages a day in the Etsy shop asking questions about everything you can think of. And so a lot of those things that are repeated, I want to try to address in videos like this so that we can not only send links to folks, but, you know, spread the word about what we're doing and maybe get some of these questions answered for you guys as well. All right, so today we're going to talk about how to read a 7-day glass candle. Now this is a glass encased candle. This is not a 7-day, this is a bigger one. The 7 days are usually a little bit skinnier than this, but it's the same exact idea, okay? This is not a client candle, this is the one that I did for myself, which is why I'm showing it to you, okay? I never disclose any sort of client work, but this is my own candle. So I just wanted to I saved it so that I could show you guys how to read it. So there's a few things that I look for when I burn a glass encased candle like this. Number one, did the wax burn all the way out of the candle? So you can see here, I want to look down to the bottom, and you can see that in the bottom here, I've got glass, right? Like you can see through it. There is a tiny amount of wax left in the bottom, but I would call this a successful burn simply because it did reach the metal plate down there and there is glass visible. If there was wax left in the bottom of the candle, that usually represents to me a blockage, or something is wrong, or the spell might not take, all right? So that we may have to address it a different way. So let's say I do a 7-day candle to bring in the love of my life, okay? Let's just say that, all right? And the candle stops burning, you know, at this point, and there's this much wax left in the candle. Usually that for me would mean I need to do some work on myself. Maybe I need to do some cleanses. Maybe I need to do a different type of spell. Maybe it's not gonna take just one candle for me to get my goals accomplished, right? Like I might need to do continual work on this, kind of like I do with prosperity work. I do money spells for myself and you guys every single week, right? It's a continual thing, and that's probably what Spirit is trying to tell you. If there's a lot of wax left in the bottom of your candle, all right, you probably need to address this in a different way and hit it harder than you're hitting it now, okay? That's my first thing. The second thing that I look for is there's smoke in the candle. So there's two different kinds of smoke that we see in these candles. There's white smoke and there's black smoke, okay? I don't have one that has any white smoke on it to show you, but there's a marked difference, okay? So neither of those are bad, all right? I'm not freaking out because my candle is black. I'm not. I think it's actually a good thing. So what this means usually is that when you see the black smoke, there's usually a major obstacle your spirits have to work very hard to overcome. So when you see the black smoke, just think of it as like your spirits are going to war for you. They're busting through walls, they're busting through barriers. That's the way I look at it. Like they're blowing up, you know, obstacles, if that makes sense. That's what I see with the black smoke here. When we see white smoke, that is also a very good sign that there's probably not any major obstacles in your way, and you have very strong spiritual presence around you, okay? So either type of smoke that you get is totally fine. A lot of people send me pictures of their candles that they burn and they're freaking out because they're black. That's nothing to be concerned about in my opinion, okay? Then this is all my opinion. Every reader and every witch is gonna have their own way of doing this. But in my opinion, any type of smoke shows me spiritual activity, which means good, which means that worked, that I called spirits in to help me with my situation, which is exactly what I wanted to do. All right, so now if there's no smoke in the candle, that would probably concern me more than black smoke or white smoke. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that if there's no smoke, it means it didn't work. That's not the case. But because every spell is different. But to me, no smoke would be a lot more concerning than this. All right. The last thing that I look for is rings in the wax that go all the way around the glass. Now I'm gonna hold these up so you can see the wax has left marks on the glass. You see that? What I'm looking for here are rings. So I don't know if I have a complete one that I can show you guys. Probably down here, yeah. And not really, I wouldn't count this if it was for a client, but I'm gonna show you guys just for the sake of showing you, okay? So you see how there is a ring right here? You see that line? So what you're looking for are rings in the glass that are left by the wax that go all the way around the glass, okay? They have to go all the way around the glass. If they are incomplete, they don't count. And what those mean, or what they indicate, is a unit of time, okay? So 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, all right? Do I know how long that is going to be? No, I don't, because time is not the same in the spiritual world. We as human beings made up minutes, days, hours, seconds, weeks, okay? All of those units of time that we measure here on earth are made up by us here on earth, okay? So they don't exist in the spiritual realm. So for me to tell you, or for me to say, okay, Spirit definitely says it's gonna be 1 week until your spell manifests, is just not possible. Any witch that tells you that they're guaranteeing a manifestation time is not a good witch for you, I'm telling you. I don't mean to bad talk anybody, but you cannot guarantee manifestation times because you are not in control of that. Some witches do things like if it doesn't manifest in a year, they'll do it again for free or something like that, right? And so that's different, okay? That's putting like a guarantee on their work. But for them to guarantee that the spell will manifest in a certain amount of time, that's usually an indicator of fraud. That's a very strong, like red light right away that the person that you're working with is full of it. So be careful, all right? If you're working with somebody that guarantees your spell will manifest in a certain time period, they can't guarantee that. No witch, no human being can guarantee a time period, okay? We can get signs and symbols off of tarot cards, off of other forms of divination, off of the glass. This is a form of divination as well. But we can't guarantee anything, okay? All right, and then what else? Oh, how do you dispose of these? Okay, so if you're somebody that burns 1 or 2 or 3 of these a year, the best way to dispose of these, now because this is glass, which is a natural material, okay, I would recommend returning it to the earth. So if it is something like this, an Abre Camino, where you want to bring something into your life, you can bury it in your front yard. You can bury it in a plant, okay, and put that plant in like the front of your house or, by your front door. You can, sometimes people like to put them in running water, and it has to be living water, like a stream, a river, the ocean, okay? You want something that's living water, okay? Some people prefer to do that too. You can do that as well. It's up to you, right? But if I did these a couple times a year and I had a house, okay, I would have a special spot underneath a tree or something where I would be burying my work. Now, I do 35, 40, 50 spells a week, okay? So I cannot bury, that's far too large a number or an amount of materials for me to bury. My entire yard would be dug up if I buried every spell that I've ever done, right? Because I'm a witch. So for me, that is not possible. What I do with these objects is I thank them for their magic, okay? Just kind of hold them in your hand. Thank you so much, spirits, for helping me with this, situation. I really appreciate it. And just say something nice to your spirits that you're working with, right? Thank the item for its magic, and then discard of it. All right, so discard of it in whatever way. I'll put this in my recycling bin, and that'll go out to recycles. But I'm returning it, I guess, to the earth by recycling it. But even if I was throwing it in the trash, it's a natural material, so it would eventually break down and go back to the earth, okay? So Spirit knows what you can and cannot do, and so don't think like, oh, if I have the room in my yard but I don't bury it, Spirit's gonna, be mad at you. That's not how that works either. Do what you're capable of doing. If people don't know that you're practicing magic, the last thing you want is somebody catching you digging a hole in your yard and burying something weird in it, right? People are gonna think you're doing something weird. So just do what you can do, okay? Do the best that you can do. Some people prefer to take them to the graveyard if they have spirits that they work with on the regular at the graveyard, and a lot of people do, or if they have ancestors at the graveyard, you can take them to the graveyard and bury them there. However, that being said, do not throw your trash on the floor. I don't care where you are, all right? It doesn't matter if you're in the graveyard, at your house, at your neighbor's house, in the river. It doesn't matter. Do not throw your trash on the floor, okay? So if you go to the graveyard, what I have done in the past when I've needed to take a spell to the graveyard is I threw it in the trash at the graveyard, okay? And I left offerings, flowers and pennies on a grave for a spirit that I was working with, but I threw it in the receptacle, the trash receptacle at the graveyard. If you get caught leaving spell remnants in a graveyard, you will very likely go to jail. All right, so please do not do that. It is disrespectful to the spirit, it is disrespectful to the earth, and it is disrespectful to the living people whose family members are in that cemetery. Don't do it, okay? Please. That's not a good look, and I don't care what you're doing with your work. It's never a good idea to disrespect anybody in the process of magic, okay? So that's that. If it is something that you are trying to get rid of, so say I was doing a banishing candle or a breakup candle or a hexing candle, you know what I mean? Like I was cursing somebody. Then at that point, I would take this used candle and I would bury it in my backyard if I could. Okay, so things that you're bringing in go in the front, things that you're getting rid of go in the back. All right, that's number one. Or you take it to the cemetery, throw it in the trash over there, okay? Or, you know, put it in the garbage, okay? So again, thanking the object for its magic. Thank you so much, magic. But with hexes and any dark work, I get rid of those right away, all right? So when I start calling on the spirits to help me curse or break people up or things like that, that's when my house starts getting very active, okay, paranormal activity. And it always is active, but the spirits will keep me up late at night if I have, you know, if I have like remnants of a dark spell basically sitting around. I've noticed it time and time and time again. And I have videos of it on my Instagram for The Lover's Conjure. You can look at them and see what's going on in my house. But, you know, I noticed that there's more of an ominous feeling associated with those remnants. Like it feels dark, it feels heavy, it doesn't feel like something that I want in my home. So I will work that spell till it's done. I'll do a final video for the client, and usually what I'll do is in between, I'll work it till it's done, and then I will set the candle, you know, outside, and then the following day I will bring it back in to do a video for, you know, to show them how it looks, a final report, and then I will put the candle, but you know, after that I'll throw out the remnants. But usually those I get through they're the first ones I do, because A, I don't want them in my house, okay, and B, I need to cleanse my area and cleanse myself after doing those types of works, okay? So I don't want to go from doing a hex on somebody to touching somebody's reconciliation spell, right? Like I try to be very, very clean and very careful not to get any sort of bad vibes on anybody else's work with, you know, with dark work, okay? I'm just superstitious though. That's me. Some people don't care, all right? Some people don't do dark work, and that's cool too. You know, whatever you like to do. So I think that's it, my friends. If there's any other questions about these types of candles in particular, please let me know in the comments down below. I will try to answer them. Also, if you have any special requests on videos that you would like to see from me, types of spells that you would like to see me do, any other subjects or topics or questions that you've been wondering about, please do let me know in the comments below. I'll make a list and I'll start doing them as quickly as I can, because like I said, I do want to share information with you guys. I'm trying to be really good about working it into my schedule this year, that I keep in touch with you guys a little bit more about this type of thing that I do, okay? All right, thank you guys so much. I love you all. Much love, many blessings, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.